From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Well, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Riddle. Good evening to you. Look who we have here in the studio with us. It's Sierra Hignite. We're going to introduce you to Sierra. You know Sierra. You see her every morning on Fox 59 and weekend mornings on the morning show, and now here on the app for the show that she not only anchors but produces. We're going to tell you all about all of the things. So thanks for joining us tonight here on the app. Make sure you download the Fox 59 Now Smart TV app if you haven't already done so. You can find it on Apple TV, Roku TV, or Fire TV, and of course we're on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That's where we are every night at 8 o'clock, and that's all the places you can find Sierra and the wonderful things that she's doing. How are you?
I'm great. I'm coming off a morning shift, so been up for a long time. A lot's happened today. It's been like a slammed week. I feel like not only with the Indy 500, we've got all the Pacers news, and then it's just been a busy, also regular news week in general. So my mind is like spinning. It's been crazy.
It has been a busy week, and we're not done yet because we here at Fox, we've got the big race for the first time ever, and it's live.
It's live, which is great. I am so excited. I'm not going to stay for the race this year. I typically don't because, you know, we have to be here so early. We usually listen to it on the radio, but I'm so excited to get to watch it live on TV. I think it's going to be great. There's so many cool aspects of this race. There's so much drama, so much history. It's going to be so good. I cannot wait.
Well, from what I understand, people are already liking the show that Fox is producing, and there's some different things that people get to see. But then, of course, before the race airs on TV, we're starting at 5 a.m., right?
We are starting at 5 a.m. from 5 to 10, local Fox 59, all of us here. We've got a whole crew, a whole plan of our coverage, and then Fox Network takes over from 10 a.m. to 12:45, and then the race starts, which is going to be great. And I think our pre-race coverage, not to be biased, but is really some of the best. We've got crews everywhere. We always talk about Eric Graves because he's just so funny. I mean, the places and situations that man finds himself in are, I don't think there's a word for it, but it is so entertaining. I love it. And me and Zach, we are a pair that morning, and we get, I think, one of the best spots. We're on top of the USAC building, which is just across from Gate 1 on the other side of that roundabout.
That's where you were last year, right?
Yes, where we were last year and the year before. And it's just the perfect view. When the sun rises, you get to see Gate 1. We see everybody coming in across Main Street, up across, I mean, we saw a man in whitey tighties last year. We pulled Clayton Anderson up, the country singer, onto the USAC building. It's a crazy day.
So last year, if I remember right, there's a ladder that you had to climb to get up to your spot.
Yeah, a pretty small ladder in a tube.
And last year you were pregnant when you did it.
How pregnant was I in May if I delivered in September?
About 6 months, right?
About 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. And they I honestly just didn't even think about it. I just thought, yeah, I'm just going to do my job. And they were like, are you really going to climb that ladder? I was like, what is my alternative? What got crazy was not only the ladder, because luckily everybody was very helpful. And like, if we needed something downstairs, they would go get it for us. So I didn't have to climb it a lot. The bathroom is, though, down the ladder.
And you're on your own with that.
Yeah, I'm on my own with that one. But it was when, I mean, there was severe weather. We're on top of a building, a metal tent, wires all over the ground, and it's raining. So not ideal circumstances for anyone, but especially pregnant. And so luckily they called and they were like, yeah, you guys should probably get down off the ladder.
So you've made it to Fox 59, the #1 station here in town.
Sure
like several of us here, I've had Marcus on. We were talking about his days over at Wish TV, and I had a couple other people. We had Russ McQuaid, who's one of two people who this is the only station in town he's worked at.
Yeah, Indy is a small town, especially in news. I did. I worked at Wish. So I graduated from IU. I'm from Greenwood, so here. Graduated from IU. I then went to what was the next star station at the time in Terre Haute, WTWO, and WAWV, and worked there for a little while, and then came to Wish for 3 years, had my son, sat out a year, and then started at Fox. I've been here. I just finished 2 years here.
And then since you've been here, you've done the morning show and you're anchoring of the weekend show, but now you also have it's another show that you do at 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so this is actually the first time I've done mornings full time. Previously, I think my assignment was always technically dayside, but you know, that is the shift that you are the most fluid. You can go to any day part. So I would work, fill in on the evenings, fill in on the mornings. I eventually ended up working a lot of night side, but I'm so much happier doing mornings. I think it's a lot more conducive of a shift for families. I know you can attest to that. The alarm is awful at
Terrible.
2 a.m.,
Terrible.
but it's so nice to be done at 10, 11 o'clock and still have your whole day and to be with your
Yes.
kids and your family and do a lot of stuff, especially in the summertime. It's nice. You get out right when it's time to get in the pool, which is pretty sweet. Um, yeah,
Winters are hard though, because
yes,
it's cold.
yes,
It's
that
dark,
is,
and all you want to do is stay in the bed
yeah,
at 2
but
in
at
the
least you
morning.
get to see the light at some point for like 2 hours after work.
Yes.
It's light outside before it gets dark again.
For just a few minutes. So, you do the show with Zach,
Yes,
who's been here 20 years now.
20 years this month. I think he had his 20-year anniversary.
And I in the same week he posted on Facebook that he also met his wife 20 years ago. This week I was like, what you have going on that week? Like, that was a good week for you.
It was a very busy week following kind of a crazy time in his life. So he was working in Fort Wayne for, I don't know how many years, a long time. And the station actually shut down is why he left. He really liked it in Fort Wayne. So then he ended up, I think he says it's a month later, he got the job here. And within the week that he was starting here, he met his wife, Heather. And so then they obviously end up getting married. They have 2 beautiful children that are fantastic. And he has worked here for 20 years. I think 13 of those years have been anchoring our weekend morning show. He launched it
He did.
and has been with it ever since. So Zach had a very crazy week when he first started. I love working with him. It's so funny how it worked out. We're both we live in Greenwood. Our houses, I think, are like 5 minutes apart. We literally live off of the same street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't carpool to work. People always ask me that. We don't. We drive separate to work. But we live super close. We're both from the South Side. His kids go to a school near where I live, and it's just crazy how it all worked out. We get along great. I'm so happy that, I got a good co-anchor because that's not always you're rolling dice there, but we get along great. He's a great guy.
What's something that there's I know, and when we have Zach on, I'm sure he has some things that when he tells you like he's in a rock band or he was in a band.
Zach has led such an interesting life that I think people would never guess because he's such a button-up, polished guy. He's married to a lawyer. Um, he works in news, and we just appear very buttoned up and polished and professional, but we have real lives. Yeah, Zach was in a fraternity. He was in a rock band. He's a drummer. He still drums, but now at church, which is a little different than a rock band.
Yeah.
But the church he goes to does rock.
Rocking for the Lord.
Yeah, rocking for the Lord. Hallelujah. It's crazy though. It's so funny when he tells me stories of like, oh yeah, one time, blah blah blah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just crazy knowing him now, as a 50-year-old man versus he's telling me stories of when he was in his 20s. I'm like, that was 14 lifetimes ago, and I don't know that you're the same person.
So what's something that people wouldn't guess about you?
That people wouldn't guess about me. Oh gosh. I feel as though I show everything on my sleeve. I have been with my husband since we were in high school. We're high
Really?
school sweethearts.
Greenwood High School?
Greenwood High School, go Woodman, baby.
Okay.
We got together. I was a freshman, he was a junior. We did break up for a year when I went to college, but then got back together and we got engaged at the end of my senior year of college. We've been married since 2019. Our anniversary is coming up in June.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been together forever. Love him. Great guy. We're both from Greenwood. Stayed around. It's surprising to people sometimes that in college I majored in journalism, but I minored in fashion design. Was that the best
that's
way
not
to spend
surprising.
my money? I don't know.
That's not surprising. You always dress fresh.
I paid a lot of money to learn how to dress. All my friends are in political science, and I just had to learn that, on the side when I was going to fashion classes. So
That makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Also took PR and marketing, and that's how she wrote it. I ended up here, and it worked out, and I know how to dress myself, which is working out.
Well, you said 2019 is when you got married, so you have an anniversary coming up. So happy early anniversary.
Thank you so much.
And then, so that would be what, 6 years?
6 years.
6 years. Good.
2020 was one. Yes, 6 years.
6 years. Good. Because I also got married in 2019. So
our lives have really
lined up. Yes.
I just had one baby in between.
Yes.
But we had babies a couple weeks apart. I always forget.
Yes.
Mine's the September 22nd. Yours was
September 8th.
Yeah.
So very
When's your
close.
anniversary? Your wedding anniversary?
Is October 5th.
Okay, we were June 15th.
Yeah, so you're
I had it in
just a
our
little
calendars the 16th, and we had to change it.
you're just a little bit ahead.
Just slightly.
You're one baby ahead of
Yeah.
us. But yes, we have 3 people. Actually, it was 4. I don't know. Did you know Aaron, the sound guy? His wife
Yes.
was also pregnant at
That
the same
was
time.
so crazy, and this is the second time I've been at a station where it's almost like there's a little pregnancy pack that no one was aware of. It's like one person announces that they're pregnant, and then you're like, "Oh, because you haven't announced yet," and then another person, and another person, and another person. I think that when I had my first son, I was one of 3 people at my station where our maternity leaves intersected at some point.
Mhm.
For us here at Fox, it was crazy. We literally were like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Mhm. Mhm. And we were actually due the 17th or
Mhm.
something. Carter came a week early.
Mhm.
He was just
He was
ready.
ready.
So
He
it
said, "I'm
was
cooked."
it was Sunday morning, and um my wife, actually it was Saturday night, and I could see her like hunched over and she was making different faces. And first I didn't pay no attention to it. And then I was like, she's having
Yeah, this looks
contractions.
like more discomfort than the normal 9 months pregnant face.
And so then um we went to bed, we watched TV, we went to bed, and then that morning I was gonna get up to do my radio shows on a Sunday, and she woke me up just before my alarm. She was like, "We need to go to the hospital."
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, "Here we go. All right, here
Were
we
you
go.
nervous?
Let's
Because 'Cause
go."
you're a first-time dad. She's first-time mom. Did you handle that situation how you thought you would? Because I think in your mind, you're like, "This is how it's gonna go." You don't know what to expect, but you've, like, read enough to be like, "This is how I'm gonna handle it." In the face of adversity, did you handle it the way you thought?
Um, I was more like, "This isn't the way that they do it on TV."
Right, the movies look so different.
Yeah, like, aren't you s you're so it was more like, okay, it's a gradual thing. Like, it wasn't like, "Okay, pants on fire, everybody out the
Right.
door, let's go."
"The
It was
water's breaking. The
yeah,
baby's coming out.
yeah.
Hurry, hurry."
It wasn't like that. It was like, So you're sure? You're
Right.
sure? Okay,
Meanwhile, she's, like, dying inside, like,
yeah,
"Yeah, I'm sure, let's
I'm
go."
sure. Let's go. Let's go." So I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So, um, it was one of those, I think when we got within a few days, it was like, are we is it like I don't know when it hit that it was real.
Yeah.
Probably not until like she was in labor pushing. I was like, "Oh, this is actually happening now."
Right. Well, there's so many points too where you're like, "Oh, we could still get sent home." You
Yes.
don't wanna get too excited,
Yes.
but then it's like when they roll that little I call it the incubator, but,
Mhm.
the little bed that has the light that they clean the baby off on when they first come out. When they roll that into your room, you're like, "We're gonna have a baby in that." Like, our baby's gonna be in that thing in 24
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know when like that switch hit, but I remember holding Carter the first night at the hospital. I was like, "Wow, we did that."
It's crazy. You literally, like, black out. I'm so glad we have phones to take pictures and
Yeah.
videos because if I had to rely just on my own brain, it's literally like you get tunnel vision, and of course, I'm doing this from the mother's perspective who's
Mhm.
giving birth, but I'm sure it's
Mhm.
similar for you guys, where you are just like, "What happened?" And you almost forget some things because you're just like, eyes on the prize.
Mhm.
And I go back and look at my phone, I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember
Uh-huh.
that." And
Uh-huh.
I was so much better my second time with, like, journaling about the day as soon as it happened. Because even, like, a couple weeks out, you haven't slept,
Mhm.
you're sleep deprived, and you're like, "Ah, I wish I remembered what happened then. When did we go? What did they say?" It's nuts.
Is there for you yes, it is different. I think the first thing that I realized was, "Oh, nobody cares about me in the room anymore."
For sure.
Because when you're there, of course, it's about the mom, and I was fine. I think I sobered up very quickly of this new role. Like, oh,
You're a good man, Cameron.
because it was first of all that that the first night we were there, my wife's like, "I'm gonna order some food. What do you want from downstairs?" And they're like, "Oh, this can only be for the patient
Mm.
of the room." And so,
They said, "It's not about you, sir.
yeah,
Walk on those 2 legs
yeah, I'm
and go
sorry.
get food."
Good luck to you. You can't have any of this food, or come down here and get it yourself, which I did. But the nurses were like, hey, what do you want? We'll call it and get it for you.
Oh, the angels on earth.
Yes. So that was really cool. But that was like my first like immediate lesson that okay, I'm responsible for her and I'm responsible for him,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody's responsible for me.
Right.
So I was like,
And
okay.
you know what? The sooner you come to that realization, the easier it is for everyone.
I guess. I mean, it was between the food and the uncomfortable couch that they had me sleeping on.
Isn't it terrible?
It's terrible.
You'd think when like you're in a maternity wing and like that is the one purpose of that couch is where the partner is sleeping.
Yeah.
You would think there'd be some more accommodations.
Now I've seen some hospitals have upgraded and they have better accommodations for the dad.
Sure. I've received the hospital bill for the non-upgrade.
Uh-huh.
You can kick it on the uncomfortable couch.
Okay.
If that's the only difference.
Well,
In my opinion.
we have to compare bills because I'm sure they're both terrible.
It's not fun. It's like you're in this like sweet bliss of like, oh my
Mhm.
baby, it's so great. And then you receive a bill.
Yeah, like here
And
you
then
go.
another bill, you're like, oh, these all don't just come in one.
Mm-hmm.
And you just for months you're like, oh, okay, another one,
Mhm.
another one.
Mm-hmm.
They're worth it and they're cute, but
Yes,
whew,
yes. I have loved every second of being a dad.
yeah.
You know, it's been different to where, before it's me and my wife, we just where we want to go, we just spur the moment and do something. And so now to adjust to be like, okay, I have until 6 o'clock tonight to get this done, and then I have to go pick up my son.
Hmm.
Like those are big life adjustments.
It is. It's so crazy how quickly it happens that you no longer remember what your life was like without them.
Mm-hmm.
It was with Jack, I think we felt very ready. For me, I always say going from 0 to 1 was not hard for me. I've babysat my entire life. I have a sister. I have two sisters. One of them, though, is 13 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that I'm her parent, but, I've been taking care of babies for a long time. So, for me, going 0 to 1 was not hard. 1 to 2 rocked my world. But now, and they said it to me repeatedly. I was like, this is so hard. How am I going to do this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
my husband is gone for 24 hours at a time. He's a
Right. He's a
firefighter.
firefighter.
How am I going to manage this infant and this 3-year-old, 2-year-old at the time? At the same time, it was nuts. And now it's like, I don't remember what it was like to just have one kid. When I only have one kid, though, with me, I'm like, this is a
Mm-hmm.
breeze.
Mm-hmm.
We could do anything.
We only have one, but people keep making the comments. So,
You barely get out of the hospital and they're like, do you want another one?
yeah,
I'm like, can I
when you have another one,
heal and get out of a diaper
yeah,
first before
yeah.
we discuss?
I'm like, well, they're like, well, he's, your son's really developed. They say that's what happens when he's moving out of the way for a sibling. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Let me tell you, Jack was so developed. His speech was beyond, his age
Mm-hmm.
and so many things that his doctor was like, wow, he's really advanced. It's easy to do when you're the only kid around. And what else do we have to do
Mm-hmm.
than to enrich your brain? But let me tell you, when our second son, Jack was not ready. Charlie is almost 8. He'll be 8 months old,
Mm-hmm.
maybe today.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
8 months old today.
Yeah.
And Jack is literally just now, I'll say liking him. He's always loved him, but he's just now wanting to interact with him more and being like, oh, you can play a little bit. You can laugh at me. Okay, I might like you. But at first, he was like, get that thing out of this house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to look at him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was very developed, and ready is a hard word. It was a difficult transition
Mm-hmm.
for old Jackie B.
Mm-hmm.
But he loves him now.
I was gonna say, does he love him now?
He loves him now. When we
Okay.
go to baseball games, Jackson baseball this year, he says, that's my baby. That's my brother. And he
Mhm.
wants to show him off. He likes to show him off to other people. But when we're at home and he has to share mom and dad, he likes to play with him when we're not looking. I don't know why he likes to hide that he likes him from us, but at 3 he does. So
Well, only change for us was we have a dog. We've got Benji, and Benji was everybody loved Benji.
Oh,
Benji
yeah.
was the star of the show, and everybody came, "Where's Benji?"
Mhm.
And now everybody wants to see where Carter is, and Carter is now he's 8 months too, and so he really likes Benji. Like I've noticed, like he's trying to pet him and to come
Mhm.
over, and Benji's like,
So isn't it crazy how jealous the dogs get?
Yeah.
That's how our dog Louie was with Jack. He was like, get this thing away.
yeah,
Because did you treat Benji like a baby?
yes,
We treated Louie like a baby.
yeah, like a child.
Literally, I had gotten it when I was working night side. I would have people come watch Louie because I didn't want him to be home alone for 12 hours.
Yes,
Like he was our baby. And now I'm like, good luck, brother. See you when I
Yes,
see you.
the same. We will leave Benji at home all day, and before it was like we had people, staying over.
Yeah.
I'd have people stop over in the middle of the day. Like if I went here and then I had to go straight to do some bus stuff, then I would have somebody, hey, can you swing by, let Benji out like midday? Now I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm gonna let you out before I leave. There's some water and some food.
Yeah.
Hold it down till I
Good
get back.
luck.
You'll
Right.
be okay.
And that's why they're angry at us. So there's no secret. But
Yeah.
it's so funny. But it's so weird how Louis was jealous of Jack, but then he's very into Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie very much likes Louis. So it's almost for Louis, it's like an enemy of his enemy is a friend to him. Is that the saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're the enemy of my enemy, something like
Right,
that.
right, right.
But he thinks that Jack is their enemy. And so then him and Charlie are cool. So it's Jack against Charlie and Louis.
Are you planning for the 1 year birthday yet?
I have thought about it. I'm really excited because Charlie's the only one in our family that has a non-winter birthday.
Oh.
I'm in December. My husband is February. Jack is January. So I'm excited to do an outdoor party. I'm telling my husband, I'm like, we're getting a bounce house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a petting zoo. He's like, actually, no, you're not. Maybe the bounce house is fine. But I'm excited for a fun outdoor birthday. I haven't decided on a theme yet. I love a party, though. That's one of my favorite. That might be an interesting thing. I love parties. I love to throw parties, host parties.
Uh-huh.
I make a wicked balloon arch.
Well, you know, the station should be doing a birthday party for all the kids here.
You know, they might as well.
Good.
Celebrate our 1 year return. No one's
Yes.
pregnant right now.
Correct. That's what I'm going to say. As a reward for nobody being pregnant,
Everyone's at work this September.
and you
Great
don't have,
work.
that would have been 4 people out on paternity or maternity leave for months at a time.
Yeah.
As a reward, we'll all take a birthday party here.
Fantastic. I love that. And I think something that I don't think a lot of companies do, maybe it's becoming more common now here in the US, but I mean, you got a 6-week paternity leave, which is so nice. My
It was
husband
really
does not
nice.
get that. He
Yes.
gets no leave at all. It's he can use his sick time or he schedules his vacation time at the beginning of the year. So we have to guess if we'll get pregnant. And if we do get pregnant, what is the week in which we might deliver this child?
Right. That was the one thing I was like, now hold on now, 6 weeks full pay?
That was probably so fantastic for you, but also your wife to have you home for 6 weeks.
Yes. And she's a truck driver, so she stayed off for, you know, she had the same amount of time you did. But even still, that's another one where it's like 6 weeks, you know, I was like, oh, so I just go back to work. And 6 weeks is generous because some people, you know, some paternity leaves aren't that long. They're like, hey, you had a couple hours with your kid, right?
I mean, seriously, depending on the job, it is like you can go see them. If my husband would not have had vacation time or sick time, he could have taken emergency leave, which would have allowed him to come for the delivery, depending on how long that would take, and he would have had to go back to work. Is that not insane?
That's insane.
Insane. Luckily, it shook out and we planned and we had the vacation and whatever, that that was not the case, but like that is legitimately what some people face. And I just think like I cannot imagine, or I hear women who birth children going back to work after 2 weeks and being 2 weeks postpartum. I just think how do you physically do it? When you have to, you literally have no choice is what they say. But I just think like, how would you do that?
Well, I was there and I was not grossed out, but more fascinated with the delivery. And
where did you stand?
Where did I stand?
Were you at the head or were you at the foot of your wife?
I was at the foot. I was at the head, but then I went to the other side.
Did you catch or did you just see?
I saw and then I cut the cord.
You're better than me. They asked me, so there's this big screen where we delivered like a TV, and they said this TV actually hooks up to a camera. They said it doesn't go anywhere. It just connects to this TV. If you want, we can turn it on and you can watch so that I could see what was happening. I said, you know, thanks so much. I'm good. I can use my imagination. And if I'm going to get through this, I need to not be able to see because I got an epidural. I was like, I don't want to feel it. You can tell me afterwards.
My wife tried not to get an epidural first.
Bless her.
Listening to people who said, do it the natural way. And a couple hours into that, I have video and pictures of her screaming. And that was the other thing, was like, babe, ain't nothing I can do for you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I am sorry. Like I can sit here and hold your hand, and I was, you know, there's the machine there that shows the contractions. So I was like, okay, look at this. Oh, your body. Oh, you're having a big one. Like,
I would want to kill you. I'm someone who I'm like, don't talk to me. Don't touch me when I'm in pain. And my husband has learned it. He used to give me the hardest time because I would, you know, stub my toe or something. He would accidentally like bonk me with something. And I'm like, ow. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't touch me. And it's not out of anger. It's just, I don't want you to touch. I don't want you to talk to me. Just let me get it together and then we'll be fine.
Well, she did end up getting that epidural. and then things smoothed out. And then after a while, I was like, so you don't feel any of this. So I stood up there, with her, like, especially when she was in pain.
Yeah.
But by the time the baby was coming and it was a quick delivery, I was like, so I literally told her, and apologies is too graphic. I said, honey, the doctor has her entire hand inside of you and you don't feel any of
You
that.
don't feel that.
She's like,
No.
nope.
There's no better feeling than feeling a full-on contraction, and then your epidural kicks in and you're like, oh yeah, I could do anything.
I was like, wow,
I could do anything.
this is the power of the woman's body, the power of the doctor, and just
Yeah.
how everything came together. Do I want to be a doctor after seeing that? No,
But
but
God bless the people that do.
yes,
You were
God,
never grossed out, never got queasy.
no.
That's so interesting because you've never done like you've never had like a medical
Mm-mm.
job, never worked in a hospital.
And I don't like gore.
Right.
I don't like queasy. I
Yeah.
don't like. But I think I was just so fascinated. I was just like,
It isn't, I mean, it's an amazing thing, but it is, I mean, it is graphic, and
yeah,
to
it was
see
graphic.
all that blood, the blood alone for a
Yes.
lot of people is like makes them queasy.
Yes.
My husband thought he wanted to he didn't catch our first.
Mm-hmm.
He cut the cord on both of them, but he didn't catch them, and he was like, just in case this is our last one. He was like, I want to deliver it. I'm like, feels
Mm-hmm.
you're not delivering it,
Mhm.
but maybe you can catch. We'll talk to the doctor. And it came down to it, and last minute he was like, never mind, I don't want to catch.
Yeah, I cut. I don't even remember being given that option. So I was there to catch the baby come out, and that was it. And we cut him, and then I just remember like just all the things that like suddenly don't matter, like germs, like the baby being covered in stuff.
Right.
Like,
Like,
it doesn't
I don't
matter.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I created this. So
Did your doctor recognize you?
um
Like, did your doctor that you saw, is that the doctor that delivered you?
no.
Ours either.
No.
Do you want to hear the most terrible story that I was like, I would like to die now?
Uh-huh.
So our doctor that, like, our OBGYN is not the doctor that delivered either of our babies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there with this man whom I've never met. Fabulous man, very nice, great doctor. Going through the process, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to break your water. Go ahead, get in this position, put your feet up. We're going to get you all ready to go. Do you work for FOX59? I was like, could we maybe have this conversation when I am like in any other position? I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, I see you on TV.
No, please,
Meanwhile,
lift up.
I mean, you can imagine you're about to give birth, and it's
Mhm.
exactly what you look like when you're about to give birth. And I'm like, okay, I know that this is chill for you because
Uh-huh.
you do this 50 times a day, but
Mhm.
maybe we have this conversation, I don't know, when all my privates are not visible.
Yeah,
How
that's what I was
about
like,
that?
okay, right this way, ma'am. Let's see what you got have going on here. Oh yeah.
It killed me. I was like, great. That's something that I will not forget. That is not in my journal, but
Well,
I
and
will
that
not forget that.
and that was one of the things. I guess we better take a commercial break, but that was one of the things that that I was like, oh, okay, now this part is like on TV because I've seen so many TV episodes where the doctor is not the doctor that you've been with all that time.
I think that's a misconception because I always thought like, oh yeah, then your doctor gets called
Yeah.
because they say, oh, we called our doctor. They were on vacation. They weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
It's whoever's on call at the hospital.
Yes. Or your doctor's sleeping. They're not waking up, like you're not picking up the phone. Dr. Huxtable,
Right.
I'm in labor.
Hi, could you please come? I'm ready. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Whoever's at the hospital will deliver you.
We'll come check in on you when I can get to work tomorrow. But
Right.
good luck.
But
You got
otherwise,
this.
have fun.
Yeah. I was like, oh, so yeah, an
Yeah.
experience. When we'll have another, I don't know. We'll leave that up to the good Lord, I guess.
Yeah.
But blessed to have the ones that we have. So
Certainly.
let's take a commercial break real quick. We'll come back and we'll talk more about what you're doing on the weekend, a little bit more about what we can expect from you guys coming up this weekend
Yeah.
as we get to Indy 500. More Fox 59 tonight is coming up.